Hi, I'm Mr. Bajork, and today I want to look at finding the slope between 2 points. So I'm using a few examples here from CUDA software, and the first example is that I want to find the slope between the points 19, negative 16, and negative 7, negative 15. Now remember about slope. Let's remember a few things. Slope is equal to the rise over the run. So keep in mind that rise is kind of the vertical direction, and when we think of vertical, you should be thinking of the y-axis. So it's kind of like the y-axis change, and the run is left and right, so that refers to the x-axis, so the change in the x-axis. So really what we can look at here is this is sort of like saying, okay, I'm finding the difference between the y values and I'm finding the difference between the x values. And the way I'm going to write that is a little bit unique. Okay? You'll find it in many textbooks. It's y2 minus y1, x2 minus x1. Okay? And that's just going to equal the slope. Okay? It's finding the difference in the y values, the rise, and the difference in the x values, the run. Now the reason why it's denoted like this is this basically means this is the y value from the second coordinate. And the 1 means it's the y value from the first coordinate. And the same for the x on the bottom. The x value from the second coordinate minus the x value from the first coordinate. So let's go back to our example here. So here we have the y value from the second coordinate would be negative 15. y2 would be negative 15. And I'm going to subtract the y value of the first coordinate, which would be negative 16. I'm going to write that in parentheses so it looks a little bit neater. On the bottom, I want to take the x value from the second coordinate. That would be negative 7. And I want to subtract the x value from the first coordinate, and that would be 19. So let's do a little bit of algebra here to figure this out. We have negative 15 minus negative 16. Remember, it's like saying addition. When you subtract a negative, you're basically adding. So negative 15 plus 16 is what we're really doing. That's going to be 1. And on the bottom, we have negative 7 minus 19. That's going to be negative 26. So our slope, since this is already simplified, and if it wasn't, we would definitely want to simplify, would be 1 over negative 26 for our first example. Okay, so let's clear some space here because I kind of wrote everywhere for this example. Well, let's see. There's my eraser. Okay. Okay, well, we won't erase that, but let's move on to example 3 so we can do another example. So again, I'm going to be doing the y2 minus y1. You'll have to excuse me for a second. There we go. I want to do the y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. Alright, so let's take a look. So what I like to do sometimes when I do these examples, if I'm having trouble figuring out what's the y2 and the y1 and all that, I just label it. Say, okay, that's x1, y1, and that's x2, y2. So y2, negative 4. I'm going to subtract y1, 7, over x2, negative 6, and I'm subtracting a negative 4. So let's do a little bit of algebra. Negative 4 minus 7 is negative 11. And negative 6 minus negative 4, there's that, it's changing to addition again, so this would be negative 2. Remember, a negative over a negative is a positive, so my slope is 11 over 2, positive. And we would leave it as an improper fraction that's already simplified like that. Let's do one last example, taking a look at 28, 9, and 16. So this is the first coordinate, so x1, 20 is the x value of the first coordinate, y1, 8 is the y value of the first coordinate, 9 is the x value of the second, and 16 is the y value of the second coordinate. So y2 is 16 minus y1 is 8 over x2, which is 9, and minus x1, which is 20. So 16 minus 8 is 8. And 9 minus 20, that's negative 11. And this is already simplified, so this would be our slope, 8 over negative 11. All right, I'm Mr. Bork, and that was, with a little bit of problems with the Pen app, that was finding the slope between 2 points.